This is the download from Sounds Profitable, your daily source for the essential news in the business of podcasting. I'm Gavin Gaddis. Here's what you need to know for Thursday, June 5th. First up, why podcasting's advertising advantage is bigger than we thought. Yesterday, Sounds Profitable published the Advertising Landscape 2025 Attention and Trust, the second part of an ongoing series of a landmark study into podcast advertising effectiveness in the U.S. Tom Webster's article this morning goes over some key findings and why they matter to the business of podcasting. One key finding is how much trust audiences have in the medium. 46% of Americans trust podcast content moderation. For comparison, Facebook is at 26% and Reddit is at 25%. 51% believe podcast content is factual and accurate, while 48% believe podcast advertising claims are true. To put that in perspective, Discord, Facebook, Reddit, and Threads all scored between 19 and 25% on advertising message trust. Tom describes this as the reverse of a halo effect. Users don't just not trust ads that appear on low-scoring platforms, they don't trust the environment in which the ad appears. And podcasting has high trust with multicultural audiences. Black respondents show 51% trust in podcast advertising voices. Asian audiences ranked up to 46%, and Hispanic/Latino audiences hit 49%. Moreover, those Hispanic-Latino audiences ranked social media 19 points lower than podcast advertising. As Tom says, that's not just a preference, that's a revelation. Next up, listen up, why audio cuts through the noise and captures attention. The Trade Desk writes on the attention-grabbing nature of audio, spotlighting new data from the Trade Desk intelligence team and PA Consulting that finds Australian audiences engage with an average of 5 different media channels per day. Social media takes first place with 70% engagement. Audio comes second with 66%. Spoken word content, including podcasts, keeps people company, with 70% of surveyed podcast listeners saying they tune into content while alone. And they focus just on podcast, with 69% of respondents listening with no other simultaneous media. For the final top story of the day, marketing budgets stagnate from 2024 to 2025. The Gartner annual CMO spend survey finds the average marketing budget represents 7.7% of total company revenue in the 2025 edition, which happens to be the same share as 2024. For context, the 2 years prior the survey has been run, marketing budget was in decline as a percentage of company revenue. The report also finds protecting media budgets is a trend, with the share of spend on paid media increasing 11% year over year to 31% overall with respondents. Though with increased focus on media buys comes concern about rising ad prices that lower ROI. Conditions where introducing a few CMOs to the wonders of podcast advertising might be beneficial for all involved. As for the rest of the news, Q Code and the podcast And That's Why We Drink have teamed up to launch Parapod's Network, a network designed to bring authentic, bold voices to the forefront. Next Thursday, June 12th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, leaders from Kendo Brands, Aura Frames, Barometer, and Statosphere will gather for a conversation about how consumer brands can achieve high-performing influencer content without sacrificing brand safety. And finally, Spotify has new in-flight entertainment partnership, which will see 450 hours of curated playlists, podcasts, and audiobooks appearing on United Airlines seatback screens. Be sure to check out the links to every article mentioned right in your podcast listening app or at soundsprofitable.com, where you can also subscribe to the newsletter version. The download is written and produced by Brian Barletta, myself, and Tom Webster. For Sounds Profitable, I'm Gavin Gaddis, and I'll see you in the recap tomorrow.